so glad you could join us today. And usually for our program, what we do is we just like to get right to those readings and connections. I just want to remind you that even though you're not here in the studio, your loved ones are with you, just like everyone here in the studio, their loved ones are with them. So I hope you feel empowered after today's show to sit quietly like a medium does, close your eyes, see, hear, feel, taste, and smell the information that's coming to you from them. And once you get that information, trust it. Thank them for it, and then look for a sign. Ask them to send you one that represents the communication that you had with them. So I wish you good luck with that. If you have any questions on that process, you can always email me at info@angelinadiana.com. It's an honor for me to help in any way that I can. Here is this lovely lady that volunteered to come up here. I've never read you before. Okay, I just want to be clear on that. And all you need to do is say yes or no if you understand what I'm saying. Okay. An evidential medium is just that. We don't pry for answers. We just make statements of energy and try to make sense of the energy that your loved ones are sending as far as evidence and a message connected to that, so that it gives you hope to know that your loved ones are always with you. And again, my deepest wish when people get a reading is that they recognize that's a snapshot of time, but then you can go and take some of the tools that the medium taught you and learn to connect on your own. That's my hope. Okay. I'm feeling a female come through connected to you. I feel like it's mother's mother. So grandmother on mother's side is passed. Okay. I also feel a father figure passed for you. So dad is passed for you?
No.
Okay. So for some reason, I'm getting a younger male around the grandmother figure that feels like he's a great father figure. So I don't know how he's connected yet. And I'm glad your dad's not passed. But he's coming through, and I don't think they're connected in blood. They feel separated as far as their blood relation, but all your loved ones are connected to you. I do feel like this younger male passed suddenly. 1, 2, 3, and they're gone. And I am feeling some heaviness in their chest. So I do feel there was somewhat of a heart issue or heart connective energy to them. Does this make sense to you? I appreciate that. I want you to remember I said that, because it still feels connected to you, but not connected on grandmother's side. So I need to honor that. So I've got grandmother, a younger male with her, not blood relation, but he passed very quickly. So I'm still hearing that over and over again. So you do have a male connected to you that passed unexpectedly. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So I do need to honor a couple things. Sometimes a medium can be off by what they're saying, but they're not off by the energy of what they're feeling. Because when you kept on saying no, he kept on saying, but I passed quickly. I'm connected to her, but I passed quickly. So I have to honor that aspect of it. What he made me feel as I went through that is pain on my left side and pressure on my chest. That can mean many things. He's not saying heart attack. He's making me feel something. So I think he was impacted in his chest, or something hit him, or something affected him on that side. So I need you to look for that evidentially on what he might have felt, okay? The other thing that's confusing me is the father figure aspect of things. But what I get from him is his need to be protective around people, take care of people, and have that image of knowledge to help people. So that to me is usually a definition of a father for me. So I want to keep that energy there of what I'm sensing. I'm not off by the male connected to you that passed quickly though. So I do feel him around. The grandmother figure to me comes across quite interesting. She has a little impatience with her, because when I'm connecting here, she has an anxious need to talk. I do feel like when she was here, she was a doer for her family. I feel like she had a lot of strength from within her, but she's not bossy with her voice. She's bossy with what she wants to get done. So as a medium, I'm feeling this anxiousness to validate her because she wants to get the job done. So I don't know if she got nervous or anxious when there was something she had to accomplish for her family, or there was just this advocacy of, I want to do for my family. Does that make sense with grandmother? Okay. So I want to honor, again, it's not like she's telling me this. I have to interpret it because it's all feeling, which shows me when she was here, it wasn't like, get out of my way, I have to do this. It's, we're ready to do this yet? You know, you see what I'm saying? So I want to honor that aspect of grandmother coming through. She's claiming you take on her side of the family. She's saying there's a lot of similar traits in the shape of your face, the brow, the eye color.
Yes.
Do you understand that? So you favor her, is that correct?
Yes.
So she's telling me this, and I'm actually seeing, like, I don't see her like I see you, but I'm seeing the imprint of how similar you look, and I'm trying to explain it. She wants to let you know that her thoughts are back. So I feel like she either had a slight dementia or she was in and out of consciousness before she passed. You couldn't talk to her as strongly as you wanted to. I've got my thoughts back, don't worry. And I have to tell you, I can feel spirit and their thoughts. And this is a woman who kept a lot of information in her head. I don't know if she just never forgot, or she just had a great memory,
Well,
or
she probably never forgot.
never forgot. So that's what it is, because I'm feeling the heaviness of that. I'm feeling like, I'm never forgetting anything. It's all up here. Tell her I've got that back. So, and this again, not with words. It's with feeling and what I'm seeing in my brain. Like, she made me see her in my brain. So I want to let you know that she's coming through. And I feel like the reason, there's a motivation. She wants to help you feel better organized about how you're taking care of your family right now. She makes me feel like there's a lot of disruption and people aren't listening, and you're trying to do your best to stay the mask to the family. You're trying to carry on. There's something about mom's side of the family with you that's very important to you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Has mother passed?
No.
I've got a younger female with her, like mom. So I don't know if it's an aunt. I don't know if she lost a child, your grandmother, but I have to honor that there's a young female coming through around her. Just remember I said that. See if you could check with mom on that. Mm-hmm. But what I need to honor is grandmother's energy. She does come across very strong for your family. She sees, remember, she's the doer. Mm-hmm. So she's going to go in your brain going, oh, I'm remembering everything. You're a little frazzled there. You're not remembering everything because I can see what's going on in your family. You're trying to be the mast of the family. Do you know what I mean by being the mast? Yeah. You know, on a ship, that's the head thing that guides it, right? You're trying to guide your family right now, right? People are either not listening or they're all over the place, but you hold it so deep in your heart. Family's important. That's what was brought up for me. That's important, right?
Yeah.
Okay, she's telling me, now I'm hearing that. So that's her creed. I'm hearing her voice tell me that, my voice, but she's telling me that. So now, know that she's the one, now she was so good at that here, that when she passed, that's like supercharged now. She learned, when we learn things in our physical body, spiritual things in our physical body, that's an amazing thing to do because life is hard, right? She learned to do it. So now that you're here having an issue with that, okay, she knows it, not me, she knows it. She's saying, I can really help you with that. Talk to me. Ask me for advice. Ask me for guidance. The next time you're dealing with a family member that's giving you a hard time, evoke grandma. She will help you with this. And she says that you've got her on your mind. It's like you've got her there. So you either talk to her a lot, or there's something about you get, we'll call them memories, but it's really her giving you the information. You get memories of her.
Oh, yeah.
How she took care of the family, or the things that she would do to sacrifice, right? And you're thinking, well, why isn't anyone else sacrificing around me? That's what we were taught, right? Okay. So know that she knows, and she's channeling all this information to help you. She's a very helpful soul here, so she could be even more helpful now that she's on, and I know it's the second best thing, but she could be more helpful now. Now she's taking what feels to be heaviness in my fingers. I'm holding a Bible. So is she biblical, or is there something specific about her studying the Bible?
She wasn't, no.
Okay, then I've got a female coming through that wants to talk about the family Bible or how people would look at verses and have it inspire them. So there's a spiritual woman on the other side kind of, you understand this?
Yes.
Okay. I feel like I literally have the Bible in my hand, you know, and it's a frame of reference that I have, so I'm feeling it. And I feel like she's like surfing through it and kind of looking up some passages and going, to me that is, you've been kind of separated from the Bible. You know, not that I'm not trying to proselytize, she's doing it.
Right.
So I feel like that's what she, Julie, I feel like that's how she was. You know, like, oh, look up Matthew 7 on judgment, or, so she was kind of that way, and it's not that we have to do what Spirit says. My job is to validate who she is. And she's making me feel who she is through how she was. So I don't even know her relationship to you yet, but I know her spiritual need to help you. So they're working in tandem. Your grandmother would help in different ways. She'd help by doing. This woman would help with faith and spirituality, trying to help you feel the brush of what to do to help you get through things. Grandmother just did them. She just, let's get it done. I can't figure, one of these ladies had cancer, is that correct? I'm smelling cancer.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know which one it is yet, because they're coming through so strongly, connected, talking at the same time. But I'm smelling it. I do feel I feel this would be the woman with the Bible. She had the cancer?
Yeah.
Okay. So she's making it clear to me. And I have to tell you, when they play that trick on me, like, I have cancer, but we don't know which one, and then they tell me who it is, it means she kept her illness from you for a little while. She didn't tell everyone, right?
Right.
Okay. Because she didn't tell me right away. Do you see how Spirit works? She didn't tell me right away, so she's holding it back. So I want to honor the fact that there is a redemption for her. She's convicted in her heart to say, I'm sorry, I didn't tell you right away. So she's trying to ease you into that. She's easing me into it. She's not coming out right away to say it. But I do think that was a protective thing from her. I get protection. I don't think it's because she was being mean or ornery. She's like, no, I just want to be protective. I don't want to place that on my family and make it feel like they have to take care of me. She took care of everybody else. That's kind of her energy, right?
Yep.
So I want to honor that. Is she Carolyn? Kathleen, I'm hearing? See her K? How's
Carol.
that? Carol, that's her name? She made me hear it. So I want to honor the fact that this is her coming through. Now, she just got done saying, I don't need to say anything, or I don't want to say anything. And then she said, Carol, she can talk to you now. Okay, you need to know that. She can talk to you. You going to be okay?
Yeah.
Do you want to take a break? Want to take a break? We can take a break.
No, I'll be fine.
Okay, I want to be sure.
No, I'll be
I
good.
want to give you some time if
Yeah.
you need it. But I want to honor the fact that Carol is saying her name. They do that on purpose because she just got done saying, I didn't say anything, and now I'm saying my name, which means she feels clear and free to talk to you about this now, which means what I said before is she didn't talk to you because she was being protective. She validated that, and that shows me who she is as a woman. Her family, the people connected to her, she'd rather sit there and be quiet with her illness and have the quality of life still around her to be there and help you and be connected rather than saying, oh, poor me, I have cancer. That's who she is, right?
Exactly.
So I feel, see, and hear all these. She's a triple threat. I got all three going on at the same time. Now, you have passages of her diary.
No.
She's got pieces of paper in front of her, and she's kind of either putting them in a book or she's flipping a book, but the book has handwriting in it. It's not printed word. So to me, that's either someone took her letters and put them in a book, or she wrote in a diary and people actually have her letters or her handwriting in front of them. I'm seeing this. Does that make sense? Why should be talking about that? It's still there, so I have to honor it. So I need you to look for her handwritten stuff, because someone's either cherishing it, holding on to it, or they're looking at it to go, so that's how you felt, because a diary is about how you feel. So somebody has her written word and how she feels, so I need to honor that. I also feel there's doves around her, so there's like a dove connection. Morning doves, you know what morning doves look like?
Yeah.
They have the long necks, very sleek and elegant, very pretty. And she puts like what would feel like an ocean background behind them. Now, I don't ever remember seeing mourning doves at the ocean. That doesn't. You see seagulls, right?
Yeah.
You know. So she's putting these two things together in front as symbols or things that are important to her. So I don't know where the bird connection is for her, but it feels very strong, and the beach connection. So was she like a beach person or enjoyed the beach?
No, not really.
Okay, then I need to go to the person here then. It's the way that they're validating them. So I need you to look for the mourning doves, And I need you to look for the beach connection, because I feel like she's either taking you there or it's connected to her somehow. Now, you grew up in a family of 5? 3 children and a set of parents?
Yep.
Okay, so she validates your family. She makes me feel like that's where the beach and bird connection is. But her energy to me comes through very strong with love, you know, with the energy of not the words, but the protective nature, you know. And she has her own spirituality and faith intact. I feel like very strongly when she points to it and points to you, it's her way of saying, if you want to connect to me, connect to my Bible, you know. And I'm not trying to proselytize, I'm just saying that's who she is. So I feel like, you know, that's who my mom was and is. You know, so when there are moments that I want to feel connected not only to God, but connected to her, I'll pull out the Bible and go, oh yeah, I remember you talking about this when I was a kid, oh yeah. And then sure enough, I'll go into my life and it applies. Mm-hmm. You know, we can use that for any symbol, not just a religious one. We can use any symbol that they used to use for the good in our own lives. So in the short time that we're together, I have grandmother coming through, I have Carol coming through. You need to know that they're okay. They came through for 2 different purposes. Grandmother is going to help you do. Carol is going to give you the patience to get through it. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Because that's who she is. So that's their motivation. So people say, wow, how do they tell who comes through? Why? It's to help. It's to validate, but to help. And it makes sense to you why those 2 people are coming around you?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have any questions for me or anything you'd like to ask your loved ones before I let you go?
I don't think so.
I hope this helped you.
It did.
I really do.
Definitely.
And know that your loved ones, even though the reading ends, it doesn't mean like they go away. You know, mediums are not powerful people. We cannot make a spirit come through. It's their intention that comes through. So recognize after the reading is done, the communication is still happening. It's up to you, and if you want to communicate, it's up to you to shift your perspective on what you're looking at. It's not about there's a ceiling, there's a table, I got to pay my bills, I had an argument with someone, I can't forgive them. It's about taking all that earthly things and shoving them away and being clean and clear. Be full of the love. Let the love that you feel for them motivate you to say, I'm just going to be in our relationship right now. I'm not going to go to jail for it. I'm not going to get hurt if I do that. I'm going to be connected to the love that, yes, I'm missing. And yes, if I think about that love long enough, it might topple me into grief again, but I'm going to be strong. And I'm going to take that love and I'm going to be in it. And I'm going to talk to you because I know you're here. You're not physically here, but you're here. And I'm going to honor that love and that energy and strike up a conversation, a 2-way conversation, not just I'm grieving, send me a sign. You can do that too. But can you imagine having a friend, you go out to lunch and all you do is sit there and stare at them and you expect them to do all the talking? That's not much of a conversation, is it? Yeah. You know, so we need, I know grief can topple us down. You know, like, how can I go on another day without you? It's hard. However, the first best thing would be that they can walk through that door. The second best thing is that you take the hope and the love. She's a faithful woman. Take the faith that she has. Have faith to know that she's still with you. And use that faith to give you the patience that you need right now to get through what you're getting through. Use grandmother's energy to power through it and make it happen. You've got 2 people, I'm sure there are more and I'm sorry for that, but these 2 are coming through to specifically help you, and I hope you can utilize their love and energy by connecting with your own love for them to help you power through these things that they see happening. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. So that's another example of a reading. We see the other side giving and giving and giving, and that's why in this program we always like to highlight charities, people who give or people who help. So I'd like to tell you a little bit about an organization that's near and dear to my heart. It's called Out to Pasture. Outtopasture.org is where you can find them on the web. And Carrie has this wonderful place where, you know, the animals that are forgotten, the ones that you hear about that don't have a chance. Maybe there was a dog born with only 2 hind legs. Maybe there's a cat that has a urinary issue and it can't relieve itself, to be quite frank with you. Carrie takes these animals in. I think she has up to 80 now in her home in Coventry. It's actually not her home, it's a separate home that her husband built for her. That's how much he loves her, because they really want to help these animals. And she brings them to veterinarian appointments every day. She'll be at the house for 8 to 10 hours, feeding them and putting diapers on them and giving them medicines. She is a not-for-profit that does a lot of beautiful work here in Connecticut. So if you can support her, that would be great. And if you are into animals and are aware of some pet shelters, for example, around the Connecticut area, here's some information on what the wonderful shelters do in Connecticut. So take a look at this and email me later and tell me what you think.
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Welcome back. Thank you so much. I hope you found that information funny and cute, but informational. And, I know today, in today's times, it's kind of hard to strike up a few dollars here and there to help out charities. But I think when we give, it gives us this extra oomph in our energy to create more in our own lives. It's such a good feeling to be there for other people. And our fur babies, I have 3 myself. I don't know about you guys. I have 3 cats. I don't have any kids, but I've got 3 cats that are my kids. That animals are very important. So if you can support your local pet shelters, or even check out outtopasture.org, I'd really appreciate it. Just to talk a little bit about today's reading that you saw, it's kind of an interesting thing when we think about it, that we have people in our lives that we obviously miss because they're not physically here. But today's reading showed an example of the other side reaching through the ether and saying, I see what's going on in your life. And the other side sent one woman who had the ability to be a doer, a grandmother figure that could just go out there and make things happen for her family. And then we had another woman who came through who was very faith-based and maybe didn't push energy, but she gave love and protection, faith and hopefulness to help her family get through things. Patience, love, kindness. That's one way, believe it or not, that you can push energy in the world, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But we can see how the other side comes through. They're not necessarily, and they don't. They only talk about their passing through a medium to validate themselves, but they're not living in the grief that they passed. They're actually living in the life that they led of what was good about it. And can you imagine if we lived everyday life like that? I know it's hard, but some of us are too much a slave of our feelings. We allow what happened to us a year ago to affect us now. The other side doesn't look at it that way. They know what you're thinking, they know what you're feeling, and what they want for you most is to know, especially in this last reading, it showed that I'm still here to help you. I know you miss me, but I'm still here to help you and give you that push to get you through everyday life. And personally, it's an honor for me to read people and read the other side, but it's such a good feeling to know that if we're having a tough moment and the physical world isn't agreeing with us, isn't it a neat thought to think, well, let me speak to Aunt Jane or Mom or whomever that person is that was that spiritual example of what you need now in your life. You can call upon them. They're already helping you. You probably just don't notice it. I think that's the big thing. And how do you do that? Well, you have to take some moments in your everyday life to separate yourself from the physical world. Let's face it, the physical world is hard. It's a tough place to be. But we have people that come in and out of our lives for a reason. It's to show us that we have anchors that we can hold on to, people that we can that yes, we miss hugging, but we can tune into the essence of who they are and say, you're still here. Help me with this. And the way to do that is to block out the physical world. You know, the term meditation scares a lot of people, but if you can learn to daydream, you know, I've been in a daydream state since I've done this show to try to connect. That's why I stumble with my words sometimes, because I'm still there. But put yourself in a daydream state. Have an intention as to why you're connecting. Tune in and say, for example, in my life, Mom, I know that I miss you, but I know that you are one of the most generous people that I've ever known. And right now, I'm having a hard time, for example, I'll just give something, being generous with one of my sisters because they've been taking and taking and taking from me. That's not true, but I'm just giving an example. Help me have the generous spirit that you've always had. And they'll show you an answer, or they'll make you see, hear, and feel something.